Where last year was a lot about like scaling the creative, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to win on paid ads, you had to be able to shoot out creative nonstop, week over week, month over month. And what I think is changing now is that these brands have to be able to scale funnels. And let me explain. So in the past, again, you were just trying to get as much ad creative as possible. And then you had like 1 or 2, maybe 3 landing pages that you were sending all of your traffic to. And I think like to shout out even like Raba and Vermont, for example, they make it very easy for you to now build landing pages and funnels very quickly. And so now what you're doing is you're creating an experience around a specific pain point. You're creating or another experience around a specific narrative, et cetera. So the key to creating funnels, the key to creating 8-figure funnels is really these 3 things. The first is understanding the pain points. So taking the why behind your product and amplifying them. 2 is the benefits. This is really the removal of the pain point. Number 3 is the narrative. So the stories that the consumers want to experience. And if we even take goalie, the example I had here initially was athletic greens, but like if we take goalie and we take their ashwagandha, right? The pain point is somebody could be living with anxiety 24/7. That is a pain point, right?
Yeah.
And so with that, you would then create a landing page dedicated. Well, if you already have the ad, if you already have an ad dedicated to talking about how somebody's facing anxiety 24/7, the landing page is like the scaled version of that, right? Here's the 30-second version. Here's the scaled version that takes you between, that explains the problem, how it's going to be, how we solve it, the science behind it, how the ingredient works, all of that, social proof, etc. That is now you scaling the experience.
Mm-hmm.
The benefit is the removal of the pain point, right? So go from a anxiety, how would I frame this? Go from living with an anxiety to living stress-free, right? That is now the benefit of the product. But that needs its own experience. That needs its own landing page. That needs its own email and SMS. And again, this is another funnel. Then the narrative is that story, right? That the thing that somebody wants to experience. And that could be something like, I haven't had an anxiety attack in 30 days, right? And that now is its own funnel. And so what do you do with this? And I mean, I'm going to kind of bring it all together. It's like, so what do you do with this information? The first thing is you're going to write down 3 to 5 pain points, 3 to 5 benefits, and 3 to 5 narratives around your products. You can find these in reviews, frequently asked questions, Twitter, Reddit, etc. Next is turning these into experiences. What I mean by that is you're going to want to templatize a landing page, an email sequence, your email opt-ins, your SMS sequences, your abandoned cart, etc., to match whatever whatever the starting point is. So if the starting point is a specific pain point, then you want to make sure that, again, if you are talking about dealing with anxiety, then the landing page is all about dealing with anxiety. The email opt-in is, hey, how to remove anxiety in 45 days. And then when they go down an email sequence, it is, again, it's tailored to that entire thing. Because a lot of times what happens is you'll get hit with an ad, you go to a landing page that now feels like a completely different story, right? So you get hit with an ad about anxiety. Then you hit the landing page for example, like it's something like ashwagandha, and it's all about being stress-free. Those are 2 different things. And then the email opt-in is, something related to buy one, get one, or something that's like, again, not really relevant. And so now you're telling 3 different stories versus one cohesive story, which is AKA like that experience that I'm trying to get people to understand. And really the way to do this is to map out templates for each one of those.
Yeah.
And then you start, when you start piecing together this funnel, you start with what is the core of that funnel.
Yeah.
You're able to cement that in the middle, and then you build around that. The reason I even bring this up is we've been working with a ton of clients that talking about like, oh, we want landing pages, and like that is a central theme that we're hearing. And what we're trying to get people to understand is you're really trying to build experiences around certain products. Again, if we go back to Raw Nutrition, for example, like Raw has products that are made for bodybuilders, then they have products made for endurance athletes. If I land on a website from an ad for bodybuilders, I don't want to be going down an email flow made for endurance athletes,
right?
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
At that point, you're killing your conversion rate.
Well, it's like the classic, this happens in apparel ads like times a million, where they'll show you like a pair of jeans that's crazy fire,
Yes.
and then take you to just like the shop all page, and
Yes.
you got to find
like the
jeans.
catalog page or whatever.
It's cohesiveness through the funnel is super important. And when you were talking about the endurance versus the bodybuilder, even, you niche down from audience as well to angle. And through the angle, it's like you have a specific story. So like if you're a bodybuilder who's struggling to recover, and so, you know, your supplement is audience related to
Yep.
bodybuilders, angle is related to recovery. What I would even experiment, especially with a tool like Vermont, which allows you to scale this up easily, is you would want to go next into what is the specific story about recovery, like the struggle that's being overcome.
Yeah.
And then you talk about like kind of the second degree social proof stuff too. Like who told you about this solution? Like there's a matrix that you can start to build when
Yeah.
you start to break out all these components of what makes a winning angle audience combination. And so like get dialed with the angle, the audience, but also like what are those specific stories within
100%.
recovery? Like you should probably have 3 stories within the bodybuilder recovery matrix that you can then experiment which one of those resonates with as well.
100%. And that's what I like had here. It's like, what are those narrative? What are those stories that consumers want to experience? And then you reverse engineer there. And I think the other thing too is by creating these different experiences, you're able to then segment your customer base. And if you are putting a ton of money into paid ads, that segmentation is going to pay off tenfold when when we're looking at like a lookalike audience and versus giving them 100,000 people. I get to give Facebook or Meta 15,000 people that are all endurance based, or they're all interested in ashwagandha or relieving anxiety. Like that data is is so much more impactful than just giving them 100,000 people, I think. And then the second part is, dude, anytime you launch another product that's related to that pain point or that benefit or that narrative, you already have a perfectly segmented list to talk to.
100%.
You know, and I think that's why, like, for example, quiz funnels are so effective. And I think still underrated. I think Jones Road Beauty, they did a really good one 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Where they were able to collect so much data on the back end of, hey, like what skin problems do you have? What kind of shades look better on you? XYZ, that then they were able to say, hey, we basically have all of these different pain points, all of these different things that these individuals want, their favorite products, yada, yada, that then they're able to go say, okay, this person needs this kind of email sequence. This one needs this one. This one needs this one. And now you just create an entire tailored experience around what that person wants and needs.
Yeah.
And that's like true marketing. When you really like bring it down to the root, it's like that's true marketing, is being able to speak to the right person at the right time and sell them the right product.